Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Seems like you stuck with me this week. It's, Monday and Thursday. Tomorrow, inshallah. طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رحمة المهداة ونعمة المزدان وعلاه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهدي الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. We are in ayah number 23 20 28. طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. This ayah deals with the divorce. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayat, actually the many ayat comes after that talk about divorce. Allah says أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم. المطلقات is talking about the women who've been divorced, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talking specifically about the concept of iddah. In Islam, first of all, let me talk about divorce. Divorce, as Dr. Yunus said yesterday, is a means and ways in a relationship that people can reconcile their differences. Or there is a harm happen to the woman, darar, happen to the woman. What are the darar? Physical abuse, lack of nafaqah, the man does not spend money on his wife, all the money, lack of intimacy, su' al-ishra, mistreating her, all of that lead to have had to request for a divorce. If she doesn't have any reason of the one thing I mentioned, I would call darar, harm, there's something called khul'. Khul', when a woman asks to get out of a marriage for no reasons of harm, but she doesn't like the man anymore, then that's called khul'. That means she let go of her mahar, pretend the mahar, and she get out of the marriage. Islam regulated divorce. You have to remember that before people get divorced, they have to do islah. فليبعث حكم من أهله يريد إصلاحا يوفق له بينهم. That they have to bring a representative from his side or her side to do islah, amend the relationship. You don't jump to divorce. You do islah first. And that's why counseling and premarital counseling is very crucial. What do you do in premarital counseling? In premarital counseling, you tell people their obligations and what it takes to sustain a healthy relationship. And then you tell them what are the things make it or break it in relationship. And you list those things to them. And one of them is abusive relationship. Harm happened to other person. I'sar and all of that. And there's a divorce initiated by the man. There's a divorce initiated by a judge. There's a divorce initiated by the woman. The one initiated by the woman is called khul'. The one initiated by the judge because the complaint came from a woman. And the divorce came from a man. Now, Islam encourages all of us to have healthy relationship and to stay married. Let's just say that. If then the relationship cannot be maintained, then people can have divorce. The problem is that in Muslim community, especially divorced women, have a stigma, and which is not supposed to be. This is wrong. If a woman being wronged, her husband divorced her, and then the society have a stigma around this woman, is not acceptable. Not acceptable at all. One of the problems that I see in my counseling and my teaching, I travel across America, and people complain to me. Said, I ended, or the marriage ended, and now everyone blame that individual, that especially the woman. Why did you stay just in the marriage? Even sometimes the husband, the one who initiated the divorce. There are three things I wanted just to say. Before those three things, I want to list things that lead to divorce. One, infidelity. Husband or wife cheating one another. Number two, that lack of maintenance, in fact. Number three, in-laws. I'm telling you what happened. The reason. I'm not saying that all of them should. The first one, the infidelity and mistreatment, very good. In-laws, that's a problem that we need to fix. In-laws, outlaws. You know, how in-laws. That's the third reason. The fourth reason is lack of religiosity or spirituality, people self-centered. Me. That are not the selfish, self-centered. 5, lack of communication. They don't talk. Okay? 6, which is something that, people don't realize that cause of divorce is growing apart. What do I mean by that? They come together, maybe she didn't have her degree yet, or he doesn't have a degree yet, and then one of them start changing in their mind, their class status. I don't think she's compatible with me now. I don't think he's compatible. That is one of the reasons of divorce. The other reason for divorce is cultural clash. They marry from different culture and they realize that there's expectations that impacted their marriage because of the cultural expectation. 3 things. This is the list. The list is long, by the way, but I'm telling you, there's some of the major reasons. 3 types of expectations destroy marriages. 3 types of expectations. Let me just qualify this statement by saying the following. All relationships are based on expectations, including the relationship with Allah. Memorize this. All relationships are based on expectations, including the relationship with Allah. What Allah expects of us? لا نشرك به شيئا. Don't associate with Him. When you make dua, are you expecting Allah to expect the dua or not? وقال ربكم ادعوني أستجب لكم. Call me, I will respond to you. Right? Any relationship based on expectations. The problem of the expectations are the 3 problems. 1, single people, listen to this carefully. Number 1, called hidden expectations. Hidden expectations. What are hidden expectations? Those are the expectations not being communicated. I want you to assume what I want. I want you to read my mind. That's not going to work. You have to verbalize your expectation. The second, external expectation. External expectation does not come from the family, husband and wife, but it comes from a third party. The mother-in-law, the father-in-law, other people, and the neighborhood, and your clique, your group that you go out with, and from the cover of magazine, and from the person in the gym next to you. Get my point? That's external expectation. For example, which is an example I make all the time, if a husband and wife decide to buy very simple furniture, they go to IKEA and buy a futon, they bring it home, and somebody from their family comes and says, what is this? They say, futon. From where? IKEA. Astaghfirullah al-azim. We didn't raise you like this. This husband of you is very cheap, that you should have a Ethan Allen, you should have more expensive furniture. This is it. I'd rather for you to sit on the ground than sit in the futon like this. And or the wife and husband, they went and bought the futon, lovey, holding hand, and they come now, somebody's upset because somebody told them this is not your level. Now they switch. That's called external expectation. The last one, expectations that are not reasonable. A husband or wife ask each other of expectation that they know is beyond the reach of the person. And they keep demanding it, because they feel entitled. And the other person cannot do it. They said in Arabic, إذا أردت أن تطاع فأمر بما يستطاع. If you want a person to listen to you, be reasonable in your expectations. That leads to talaq, divorce. Did the Rasul ﷺ divorce a woman in his life? Did he? He did. Rasul ﷺ got divorced. Because he teaches us marriage and also have a lesson in divorce as well. He divorced one of his wives and Allah asked him to get her back, Hafsa, and the other two women. What is the rule of divorce? The rule of divorce, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, after he said, وَإِنْ عَزَمُوا الطَّلَاقِ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. If they determine to get divorced, Allah is all hearing and knowing. Talaq does not listen just because somebody is going to listen to this. I think people online listening to this, listen carefully what I'm going to say to you. There's some people play with divorce. Use the divorce as a threat. If you don't cook the biryani the way I want it, you're divorced. If you don't live this, you're divorced. If you don't, you're divorced. Don't play with that. Don't play with this. That's abuse. Divorce cannot be used as a threat. Allah said, in azam al-talaq. Tayyib. If a person just said to his wife, he was angry and says, if you leave the house, you're divorced. Is that considered divorce? First of all, the Sunni divorce, valid, when it's Sunnah meaning according to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I mean, not madhab, but according to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. A divorce had taken place in the time the woman is not her monthly period. If he divorced her during that time, the divorce is not valid. So divorce has to be in the time when there's no intimate relationship. If you have intimacy relationship before he divorced her, during the time they can have intimate relationship, that divorce is not valid. It has to be a time where there's no intimate relationship prior to divorce, during that waiting period, and cannot be your monthly period. That has to be understood. If you initiate a divorce like that, divorce is not valid. Because the Rasul said so to Abdullah ibn Umar. He made a divorce like that. The Rasul asked him to take his wife back. Right. Why in Azam al-Talaq, Dr. Yunus talked about it yesterday, that divorce cannot be just done haphazard, like, it has to be after exhausting all the means and the counseling and everything, islah, to sustain relationship. Also, that it has to be done in a way that with ihsan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, imsakum ma'ruf, it hold into relationship in good terms, أو تسريح بإحسان, or let go in most kind way. And that's why طلق in Arabic is to release, to let go of. What is talaq is from? There's a net net. I wrote a book called Before You Tie the Knot. You know the knot? You know the knot? The knot, how do you release the knot? Nicely. You don't cut it. That's called tasrihan bi ihsan. To untie the knot. You tie the knot when you get married, uqdat al-nikah, or divorce, untie the knot. Okay. Now, this ayah is an ayah that ulama of usul, ulama of jurisprudence, and they consider this ayah as one of the reasons to understand something called ظن الدلالة وقطع الدلالة في القرآن. We don't like to make this like usul dars today. But الطلاق والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن ثلاثة قروء. That the women who are divorced, they should stay 3 periods. 3 periods. What do you mean by that? Word quru in Arabic has 2 meanings. تعني الطهر وتعني الحيض. It means the time doesn't have monthly period or the time they have monthly period. Either to count it 3 periods or to 3 times that doesn't have her periods. Get my point? And therefore, if you count it with tuhr, it depends when the divorce took place. The shortest one can be counted or the longest one. It depends if they need more time or need to get out quickly. Okay? ونقول هذا نسمي هذا ظن الدلالة. ظن الدلالة. That means the word take more than one meaning. قطع الدلالة is the text that does not cannot take a possibility. There's no possibility of more than one interpretation for the word. That's it. Called قطع الدلالة. Therefore, this word, this quru, has 2 meanings. During this monthly period, what is the hikmah? What is the wisdom behind this? This waiting period is so that the husband and wife, they can reconcile and think about their marriage. Why did a woman stay 3 quru? Where they stay? In the same home. In some culture, including some part for Sudan, if a man divorces his wife, immediately she said what? She take her luggage and leave. Or he asks her to leave, the husband. No. The waiting period, they are husband and wife. Guess what happened if one of them dies during waiting period? What will happen? Huh? If one of them dies during the waiting period, what happens? They can inherit each other. Because still marriage is not over. This waiting period, divorce been initiated, but this waiting period, it says, until and unless those 3 months or so are over, there is still husband and wife. But if a woman no longer have monthly period, والله لم يحضن عدتهن, those who don't have monthly period, 3 months. Those who are no longer have monthly period or didn't have a monthly period to begin with, 3 months. طيب, what if she's pregnant? If she's pregnant, وأولاة الأحمال أجلهن أن يضعن حملهن. وأولاة الأحمال, those who are pregnant, their monthly period end with the delivering of the child. Her waiting period, why? Because a man has to maintain his wife, have to take care of her. If he divorces her in the beginning of the pregnancy, has to maintain her for 9 months. You get my point? Therefore, this is the ahkam. Right? This is going to be like usul. That is, we're going to go too much. There is something called mutlaq wa muqayyad, like the general text and then the text that specified. For when he says women stay 3 period, then in other places it says, but if she's pregnant, the delivering of the child, ending of her iddah. Now, there's rulings, maybe let's talk, those verses are going to come later, regarding what do you do, what type of maintenance that a person should have, taking care of the wife. What if she's pregnant, have children, and so forth? That'll be another discussion. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت فينا الشر ما قضيت إنك تقضي بالحق ولا يقضى عليك. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا مرحوما تفرقنا من بعد تفرقا معصوما ولا اجعل فينا ولا منا ولا بيننا شقيا ولا محروما. اللهم نسألك رضاك والجنة ونعوذ بك من سخطك والنار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار برحمتك يا عزيز يا غفار. اللهم هذا إدبار ليلك وإقبال نهارك وصلاة دعاتك فاغفر لنا فإنه لا يغفر الذنوب إلا أنت. أصبحنا وأصبح الملك لله والحمد لله لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم نسأله خير هذا اليوم وخير ما فيه وخير ما بعده، ونعوذ بك من شره وشر ما فيه وشر ما بعده. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. رضينا بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وسيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم نبيا ورسولا. نعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. لا إله إلا الله ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. اللهم صل المستضعفين في كل مكان، اللهم كل الأرامل واليتامى والمساكين. اللهم إنك ترى مكانهم وتسمع دعاهم ولا يخفى عليك حالهم. اللهم كن لهم يا مولانا يا عظيم. اللهم إنك تسمع صراخهم وأنينهم. اللهم إنهم مظلومون فانتصر لهم. اللهم إنهم مظلومون فانتصر لهم. اللهم إنهم ضعفاء فقوهم. اللهم إنهم ضعفاء فقوهم. اللهم داو جرحاهم وارحم موتاهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم نسألك يا مولانا يا عظيم أن تردنا إليك ردا جميلا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا إنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم اشف مرضانا ومرضى المسلمين. اللهم أخونا بشير اشفي يا رب العالمين كل مرضانا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارحم امواتنا واموات المسلمين. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وعافهم واعف عنهم واكرم نزلهم واسع مدخلهم واغسل خطاياهم بالماء والثلج والبرد. وصلى اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا.